Hello guys, welcome to our Linux series for SDE and backend roles. So this series intent is gonna teach you all about Linux, which is required for SDE and backend roles strictly. So in this video, I'm gonna show you what is Linux, why Linux is used, why is it important for backend and SDE roles, where is it used, and the most important, its architecture. Okay. So first, what is Linux? So Linux is an operating system. So just like you use your Windows and macOS in your computers, Linux is kind of a same thing. But Linux is mostly used on the servers and backend systems. So let's suppose you have your app which you deployed somewhere, okay? So over there you use Linux. You don't use Windows and macOS. Why do you use Linux? Is because it is an open source. So you can manipulate it, you can see the code, you can change the code, and it gives the developer more control to change the code or to do stuff. Okay. So if someone asks you that why Linux, so you can always say them that Linux is lightweight. Okay, so Linux is more stable, and again, as I said, it is more customizable, so developers can change the code, change the Linux operating system, and they can make it the way they want. Okay. But why Linux is important for SDE and backend roles? Because your the apps you make, the services you make are mostly deployed on Linux servers. If I take an example on a production level, let's say your app is deployed on a AWS server. So AWS, it is basically, it is made on a Linux server, so it has a machine which has the Linux OS. So Linux gives you the power to debug, to see the issues, or to manage the servers. So that's why Linux is important to learn for the backend and SDE roles. Okay, so this is the main thing why Linux is important. So mostly because Linux is based on servers and backend systems. Okay. So where is Linux used? So as I again said, it is used mostly on backend servers. But if you have heard of something as containers, if you have heard of something as DevOps or virtual machines, this is all where Linux is used. Okay. Even your Android, even if you use your Android, the phone, the mobile is basically an Linux operating system. Okay. So now I'm gonna show you how Linux architecture looks like. Okay. So basically it looks a little bit like this. So this is basically a computer system. Okay, let's say this is a computer system. It has your apps like let's say an editor file, let's say your browser. Okay, your hardware is there, which has your CPU, your drivers, your basic IO devices. Okay, everything is there. And tools, as in these are the tools which lets you perform tasks such as networking tools, okay, file management tools, all that stuff, it comes over here. And over here the most important part is Linux. Okay, so the structure, the architecture of the computer system, it looks like this. Okay, moving forward in the video, I'm gonna show you how to set up the Linux machine. Okay, so so basically your operating system, so your computer systems, they might work on Windows and some on Mac. So what do? Is we download something known as VM VirtualBox. Okay, and on the top of that we download this Ubuntu version. So this gives you a, so basically this is a fake computer which is downloaded on your machine, but it gives you real feeling to work on Linux system. Okay, it gives you Linux terminal, it gives you basically a whole computer system on the top of your original computer system. So take it as a fake computer which is downloaded on your machine. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll download these two things. I'll give you the link. Okay, download that, and now I'm gonna show you how to configure that. Okay, so once you download that Oracle VirtualBox, it will look something like this. Okay, so you can see all the options over here. So what you will do is you will create a new machine. You'll name that machine as my VM. Okay, when you do my VM, you'll select the ISO image. So what is this ISO image? So this is basically the Ubuntu one which you downloaded. So what is this ISO image? Is basically Linux comes in a different flavor. So if you have heard of it, there is something known as Fedora, there is something known as OpenSUSE, there is something known as Kali Linux. All these are different flavors of Linux which are used. So we are going to use Ubuntu version because that is the most beginner level version which we're going to do. Okay, so once you do that, you simply just do all the configuration, do this and just do finish. Okay, I'm not doing it because I've already created one machine of my own. So quickly I'm going to show you what settings you need to do because that is the important one. So in your system you can keep your memory as much as you want. I've kept 4096, but keep in mind that don't exceed this more than your actual what do you say, the RAM, okay, which you have on your computer. Okay, you can increase it, but for the safer side keep it 4096. Okay, this boot device order, this is you need to take care of. We're gonna give you one more video in which the boot device is discussed, but for now keep the optical one on the top. Okay, then hard disk, then take this too. Okay, so what it does is when you open your Linux machine, it boots from your, so it starts from the Ubuntu version. So when you open it, you see the Ubuntu version of your Linux machine. Okay, so we're not gonna go in deep into this, but we're gonna make a separate video on this. Okay, so that is done. Then you come to display, and in here max this out, because sometimes what happens is when you open your GUI version, if the video memory is not full, it sometimes lags and sometimes stop working. So make sure you do this 128 MB. This always keep on VM SVGA or VBox SVGA, either of them is fine. Okay, next is storage. So ideally you should keep a storage empty because we already have some disk, but as we move forward in the series, we're gonna tell you how to attach one more disk or increase your storage, and everything is gonna come. So this was the basic all the systems and all the settings you should have on your system. So once this is done, you can actually open your VM machine. Okay, so what we're gonna do is this and start. So it always takes a while to open the VM machine, so let's just wait and just see how does it look like our VM machine. VM is already open, so you're gonna press start. Just wait for it to boot. It will give you options what to download, which one to select. It will automatically download. You go inside, you set up, you make account and all, you download stuff, and then your VM is open like this. Okay, so it is basically a whole computer system. It has everything, you see a terminal and all. Okay, and it works just fine. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll be coming up with more videos, so stay tuned on our channel. Thank you.